Hello and welcome back to Gap Treks or whatever. This video is us going down the east coast of New Zealand, making it all the way down from Picton, or I guess crossing over the ferry, to Queenstown. So enjoy. It was a beautiful drive.
Hello everybody, it's just about 1 o'clock in the morning almost. We are about to board the ferry to make our way down to the South Island. The 2 a.m. ferry, fun stuff. Sadly we cannot sleep in our van, as lovely as that would be. So we gotta go into like a passenger area. But yeah, so on our way to the South Island.
So we got on the ferry, sleep deprived and hungry, and the ferry was extremely rocky. So we tried to do a little bit of work at the start, but that quickly kind of fell away and we ended up pretty much laying on the floor. But you can kind of see the layout of the ferry here, big passenger style, some food being served, but nothing really helped too much. So we ended up just laying on the floor and kind of napping it out. So once we arrived at about 5 a.m. or so, the first thing we did is we drove to Blenheim, which is about a 20-minute drive away.
Okay, we have now landed in the South Islands. Woo! It's like just before 6, I think.
Really early.
Yeah, so we're heading over to Blenheim, which is about 26 kilometers south, and we're gonna sleep a little more before we move on further down towards Christchurch.
So in Blenheim was maybe a little funny to add in this video, but a really cool bathroom, like a public bathroom, that you didn't have to touch anything. Everything was like just wave your hand in front of it, close, lock the door. I guess built in the COVID area, but you can see this is what Blenheim looks like. And in the library where we did a bunch of work was this beautiful art exhibit that we both, Ryan and I, spent some time kind of looking at and kind of walking through. Really beautiful stuff. So after that, we drove down to Kaikoura, and we were able to wake up to this beautiful kind of landscape, the first like really gorgeous snow-capped mountains we saw on the South Island. After spending the night there, we headed down to Christchurch, where the very first thing we did is we stopped at the International Arctic Center, and we took a ride on these Haglunds, which are kind of like snow tanks, and they built like an obstacle course that we kind of went on, and you can see one of the tanks in the background going over I think 1 meter crevasse.
Hello. Okay, so we are at the National Arctic Museum?
International Antarctic Center.
International Antarctic
Right
Center.
across from where all the people who actually go to the Arctic stay.
So we're in their Arctic simulation booth. As you can kind of see behind me, lots of snow. And funny enough, as Orion and I have already discussed, it feels just kind of like home.
It's actually a little bit warmer than winter.
Yeah, I could totally see myself
17 degrees.
going to class in this temperature. It's the Arctic storm. It's just about -1 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels like home.
This is like, I went to gum class in this.
So of course the Arctic Center had penguins, which, I spent a while at. They had lots of facts on the wall, so I was reading up about them. And then afterwards we went into Christchurch with Marshall's brother Cam, who was super helpful and showed us around and let us stay with him. And we explored. And we also went to a farmer's market and got these little fruits, which kind of taste like a sugary tomato. I didn't really like it that much, but Orion did. Afterwards, the next day, we headed to Aotearoa, which is kind of a French town on the little pimple next to Christchurch of sorts. And on the way, we stopped at another small little town, which is kind of a big harbor. And we just explored, and we stopped by some cafes and some some little gaming stores, and a really cute library that felt very old and had some really old books. And of course, I went to find some cookbooks in there. Afterwards, we continued on to Akora, where you just see these beautiful views, and we actually ended up doing a hike, which was right in the middle of the bay, which is really spectacular.
Okay, so right now we are on, I don't know the name of it, but like the little nodule next to Christchurch, whatever you want to call it. And there is a sound, and in the middle of the sound there's a small island, which some of the earliest Maori settled on this small island, and there's actually kind of a piece of land that stretches to it, which is only available to kind of walk over when it's low tide. So it's called Onwe Pa. I don't know. I'm bad at pronouncing things, but anyways, you can't really. I'll see if I can get a better video. But basically, it's this like. It's almost like Serpent's Pass from Avatar, as Orion well said, but we're gonna see if we can cross it. Okay, so we're at the top of the Onwe Pa. The view here is spectacular. You have a complete view on the top of this ridge of the entire sound and of all of the surrounding. This would be like the best place ever to sit and defend against people. I don't know if you can see, but right over there, that's the only entrance that we crossed over. So like, tricky to get here if you're trying to invade.
That's the ocean.
Yeah. Woo! That's the ocean over there. So I mean, this is really cool.
You got mountains, you got water, and you got your little bridge. Go! Salsa! Salsa, Gavin! Yes! Yes!
So you can see by these videos that the only way on and off of that little peninsula that we were on was this really steep and narrow passageway, which was really cool to kind of walk over, at least at high tide, which is what it was for us. But I think it made it really, really special. Afterwards, of kind of slowly walking back over that, we headed to the actual town of Akora, where we kind of just walked around and explored and saw the town. It was like a really cute, fun fusion between French and New Zealand, and yeah. So afterwards, we headed back to Christchurch, and the next day we went to the botanical gardens that were in the middle of the city, and they were very, very pretty. As you can see, Christchurch actually had a ton of cherry blossoms, so we were there right at the perfect time of year to see some of those, which was really cool. So the next day we headed over to Edoras, which is called Mount Sunday, and it's deep in a valley in this beautiful national park where you have these beautiful mountains and these kind of dry plains in between. And Edoras was, this was just the perfect place to film Rohan, and it felt like we were there, truly. And you could just see from these photos, like we were also there at a great time of day. The sun was just perfect.
The beacons! The beacons are lit! Gondor calls for aid!
I have also never been so jealous of cows, since the cows were grazing on Edoras itself and all around.
Hello, cow.
Hello. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we are at Fairly Bakehouse, something like that.
Fairly.
Yes. So we have four pies in front of us. We have a chicken and smoked chicken
and
mushroom. We have a
Curry lentil.
curry lentil, a
Applesauce and pork belly.
applesauce and pork belly, and
And
venison and cranberry.
There you go.
That's the only one I actually remember. But they all look really, really good. You can kind of see a little bit. Of
The puff pastry looks insane.
Oh,
I'm excited
my
about that.
God.
Yeah, give him the cross section.
So we're gonna have some fun here.
So continuing on from Fairley, we continued towards Mount Cook, and you can see there's some beautiful views along the way. And we stopped at Lake Tekapo and also Lake Pukaki later, but this is Lake Tekapo, and it was a glacial lake, so the water was just this beautiful, rich turquoise, which was just really gorgeous to kind of walk around in. We both dunked our heads and then got this great photo here, and then continued on our way to Mount Cook. So once we got to Mount Cook, we did the Hooker Valley Trek, which was really more of like a short, pretty flat walk into the valley. Normally it takes you up the valley towards Mount Cook, but there was a bridge that has been down for like the last year, so we're stopped a little short, but we got great views nonetheless.
As far as you can go on the Hooker Valley track.
It's just so sad.
The bridge is
Because,
closed.
wait, if you go up more, you turn more. So down there, down that way, is where Mount Cook actually is. We can't see it yet.
Sadly.
Sorry, go ahead. No. I was gonna say, we do get the Glacier Lake.
Oh yeah, you get this beautiful lake. And tomorrow we're gonna be hiking this guy right here.
Kind of hard to see, but those stairs, that little line right there, we go up just about where the snow is, just a little bit up there.
From here, the stairs kind of look like the stairs of Zero. So, there.
So that night we drove back down valley to Lake Pukaki, which is where we spent the night, and this was the place that we camped. I mean, this was pretty much the view right out the back of the van. So the next day we actually drove back up to Mount Cook, and we did Steely Tarn, which is a hike that I pointed out earlier, and you can see the views were spectacular. We climbed up a little into the snow. We didn't dare go too far because of big avalanche risks, but we climbed a little up there. And it was well worth it. You could just see the snow fields and the snow kind of tumbling over the mountain, and we were also able to slide down on our butts, which is something I've never done before. I've never done any sort of kind of mountaineering or snow trekking, so this was new and really fun. And then afterwards, we drove down to Queenstown, and we spent the night a little bit north of it, and that was kind of our way down the East Coast. And the views to Queenstown were also gorgeous. Went through this beautiful mountain range. so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. So next video will be focusing around the time we spent in Queenstown, Wanaka, and a little bit of Fiordland. So everything kind of down in the south. But thank you again for watching, and see you in the next video.